Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Sounded good over here, kind of quiet over here. Let's try it again. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
All right. Like Mr. Blaylock said, I'm Mr. Kilgore. I work at the central office. I was in the classroom for 15 years at Sequoia High School, just like this classroom, graphic communications. And this is a cool class. Is it for y'all? Mr. Blaylock, pretty cool teacher. Most of us graphic communication teachers are pretty cool, as opposed to some of the other teachers. You know, we might. How many of you think Mr. Blaylock's maybe your favorite teacher? Oh, come on now. All right, I got some back there. Well, we can edit that out, Mr. Blaylock. I want to talk to you about something today that's very important for your generation of teenagers. It's called soft skills. Does anybody know what soft skills is? Anybody? Does anybody like chocolate? Anybody? Well, we're going to have to wake up. Does anybody like chocolate? Okay. Good. Good. I just opened it. I promise it's safe. Got any idea what a soft skill is? It's something you have to be able to get a job. It's not the technical skill that you use when you're designing on the computer, or if you're a carpenter, it's not that knowing how to build things. Soft skills are communication skills. If you go to a job interview, you have to have good soft skills to have a chance at getting a job. So now that I kind of defined it for you, can anybody give me a soft skill? A skill that you would need if you were interviewing for a job today? Who said that? Eye contact. Why is that important? Because somebody told you that it was? It is very important. Why is eye contact important? Anybody know? Right. You're engaged. You're paying attention. You're exactly right. Somebody back here was saying something. Who was it?
Just saying, if you don't make eye contact, usually that's associated with like lying or something.
Very good. Being deceptive. If you don't make eye contact, you're probably deceptive. Good catch. Another skill, soft skill, that you would use at an interview that's important. I forget those people behind me. Yes, ma'am. Friendly personality. Why is that important? Nobody wants to hire a mean person. That's pretty blunt. I can agree with that, though. If I'm in charge and I'm hiring somebody, I want somebody that's cheerful, that I'm not going to have to listen to them complain all the time. So that is a soft skill. Anybody else? If I were interviewing you today for a job, what would be something that you would think before you left, hey, I need to make sure this is right? Before I go see Mr. Kilgore and sit down, okay? Your appearance. Thank you. Is that important? How many of you think it's kind of important but not really the main thing? Depends on the job, that's true. If I'm going to interview for a carpenter's job, I probably don't want to be in a tie, right? But then again, if I'm interviewing for a teacher's job, then I probably would want to have the proper dress on. A tie, nice slacks. Okay, so if I'm going for the carpenter's job, then it doesn't really matter how I'm dressed, right? Does it? Does it matter if I'm a carpenter? Kind of. Okay. Why? You don't want to be too catty. Why is that important? What does our dress say about us? Does it say who we are? Does it say what kind of standards we have for ourselves? Now, if I go to apply for the carpenter's job, and my jeans are hanging about right here, and my underwear is showing, and my shirt is holy, do you think I'm going to get the I mean, it's just a carpenter's job. Do you think they're going to hire me? Huh? No? Why would they not hire me? Why would you not hire me? I'm just a carpenter. Because I look dirty. And who am I going to be representing when I'm out there? And if you're hiring me, I'm going to be representing you, right? Hey, say that again for me. I would not represent her looking like that. Okay, I want you to keep that in mind. I'm going to give you 2 for that, okay? That was good input. Keep in mind, when you go to apply for a job, and this is just Mr. Kilgore's opinion, we live in a world that is self-centered. It's all about me, okay? If you go looking for a job and you have that mentality, 99.9% of the time you will walk away without a job. Because that person that's hiring you, it's all about them. It's not all about you, it's their company. They're in charge. People that they hire make the difference on how well their business does. So they're not going to hire you if you're the best carpenter in Hamilton County and you can build a house by yourself overnight. They don't care. If you're not dressed properly, if you don't act proper, if you don't communicate, and let's stop right there about communication. We talked about eye contact. We talked about how you dress, okay? How many of you have a job in here? You got one? Yes, no? You do have a job? Where you work? At a daycare. Good for you for having a job. Where do you work? Teriyaki restaurant. Can I get a discount? I'm just kidding. And that's because you got a job. It's important. Some of you don't have to work. That's, in my opinion, is a blessing. But I also see this. I see your generation of kids that never work, and you don't learn responsibility, and you don't learn soft skills. And this is what industry tells us today. Okay, we go out and we talk to the businesses in Chattanooga and the surrounding areas, and we say, hey, what do Hamilton County students need when they walk through your door to be hired for a job? Just about 100% all the way through tell us this. If they have soft skills, we'll hire them. What they're saying is they can teach you the technical skills. The people, do you know what technical skills are? Have you acquired some technical skills in this class? What's a technical skill in this class, somebody? I had a bunch saying, yes, we've acquired over there. Group work, teamwork. That is not a technical skill, but I'm glad you brought that up, okay? Because it is a soft skill, and it's very important, and this is what industry tells us. You guys, or your generation has a problem working together, working with each other. Do you agree with that? Do you think that goes back to the, it's all about me? I think it does too. And I know I was a teenager once, and you know, if you put me with somebody that I didn't think was cool, and they didn't like what I liked, and you know, we didn't eat the same kind of food or whatever, I probably wouldn't want to work with. I'd be like, don't put me with that guy. Okay, I don't like him. But when you get into industry, you got to understand, life is not like school, and you don't get to pick who you're going to hang out with. You don't get to pick who you're going to work with like you would who you're going to hang out with. But when they say, I'm going to pay you $60,000 a year if you'll work with this guy, sometimes you say, you know what? He is pretty cool. I do like him because I'm making $60,000 a year. So you have to learn, there's different priorities and different things in life that change our priorities that will cause us to do things that before we wouldn't have done. And what I'm getting back to is teamwork is important. These employers tell us if you come in with soft skills, and one of those skills being that you can work with other people, that they'll hire you and they'll teach you the technical skills. Now, technical skills are skills that we learn to do with equipment, with computers. What are some technical skills that a secretary or an administrative assistant would need? Do they not all use the computer? What would they do? If I had a secretary, what would I ask her to do for me? Would you make appointments, okay? So what else? Maybe I need to send somebody an email. Am I going to ask her to type it up? That's a skill, being able to use email. Is there a, do I want her when she's sending an email to the vice president at National Posters to say, yo bro, what's up? Mr. Kill wants to talk to you today. Give him a ring. Do you think is that what I would expect her to do? What would I want her to do? Be professional, exactly what I was looking for. I'm just going to take this bag and give it to her, and she's going to answer all the questions. Be professional. I'm sorry. To be professional. So she would need to type that letter professionally, right? On the computer. Probably use what kind of document to type it? What? Word. All right. So have you used, have any of y'all used Word before? Have you used it in here? You have. So would that be a technical skill that you learned in this classroom? Right. Okay. What, now that you know what a technical, what's another technical skill? Typing. Why is that important? Was that you? Why is that important? In a timely manner, you know. If I give her a, hey, would you ask Mr. Blaylock to give us a output of his classes, to email me an output of his classes for this semester, would I expect her to spend the rest of the day typing up an email for Mr. Blaylock? I'm paying her for 8 hours and it takes her 7.5 to send him an email. She has no skills, right? She has no, a skill would be being able to type that in a Word document or whatever professionally in a timely manner, okay? So now we're getting some skill sets there and we see what's important and why it's important. So, you had to interview for your job? What's your name? I'm sorry. Kendall? Kendall, did you have to interview for your job? You did? They just called you up one day and said, hey, we heard great things about you. Will you come over and work for us? You already knew them from before. Okay. Did they have some expectations for you when you got there? Did they say, Kendall, just do whatever you want to do. Go out and make some money for us. What did they do? And what is that? What do you do? Cashier. Okay. So you're taking people's money. So is it important that you, did they tell you it was important that you were smiling and grinning? Did they talk to you any about how to deal with a bad situation? Like if somebody's angry?
Yeah, they just said that we shouldn't get mad at them, but we have to just control them.
You have to talk to them, you have to move, but you have to do that in a professional way, right? So they have do they have the right to tell you things like that? Why? Because they're the boss, right? They're in charge. this is a surprise to a lot of teenagers, but when you go to work for somebody, you have to do what they ask. If my boss asks me to do something, I say, you know what, I don't really want to do that. Then what's he going to do?
Hire someone else to do it.
He's what?
Can I hire someone else to do it?
And so what's he going to do to me? He's going to,
Fire you.
right, because if he's going to have a position open, then he has to get rid of somebody. So I can't do that. I am responsible for doing what he asked me to do. Now, is there any benefits for me out of that? Out of having a job? Money.
Health benefits.
Health benefits. I like you. You think like I do, right? The only thing I would add to that is to keep my wife happy, right? Because if I don't have a job, and how many guys we got in here? How many of y'all got girls? Oh, come on now. He's not. Finally, he speaks up. All right. Do you think that she will stay with you when y'all get older if you don't have a job? Speak. No, okay. Why? Right. Okay. You're not going. How many of you girls are going to date a guy that won't work?
That wanna work?
That will not work? Nobody. Nobody wants a deadbeat boyfriend, do they? So that puts some pressure on you from different areas. Is getting a job important when you get out of school? Is it important to y'all? I'm losing somebody. Maybe, yeah. How many of you are planning to go to college? Good. Good for you. Who's going to pay for that? Huh? Scholarship. That's one way. What's another way? Huh?
Did it Tennessee class where you get 2 years?
Community college. Yes, yes. You're up on your stuff, aren't you? And you're getting better at catching every time, you know? So, can we say that to get a job, you're going to need soft skills? Is that correct? You're going to need to know how to communicate with people. How to make, what did we say was important? What was the first thing? Who said it? Eye contact. Second thing, how we dress. Right? Let's talk about a third thing that's big for you guys, all right? And I need to send my wife a text. Do y'all mind? Just hang tight just a second. We're talking about what we're going to have for dinner tonight. She's wanting fish, and I'm thinking chicken. Let me ask you something. Was that very professional of me? Why not?
I did too.
That tells me something, son. You thought I was for real?
Yeah.
That tells me that you think maybe that's okay.
Nah, I know that's not okay.
You know that's not
I was
okay?
gonna tell you, hey.
Okay, good for you. What were you going to tell me? Tell
I'm
me.
gonna tell you, get out, but the camera right there.
That's okay, tell me. What were you going to
I
say?
was say, hey man, you need. I would say, hey man, you need to get out.
I need to step out when I do that?
Yeah.
Or maybe I don't need to do that at all while I'm in this setting, right?
Yeah.
Is it fair to say that different settings require different boundaries or rules? Now, if I'm sitting at home on the couch, is it okay for me to text my wife or my daughter or my son or whatever? Sure it is. But if I'm in a professional setting with y'all and I stop and I start texting and you don't know what you're thinking, this guy, he's not professional. How can he teach me, right? Did anybody think that when I started texting? Come on, you did? Anybody else? You did? Good for you. Good for you. Because it is important that we know what boundaries are in place when we go to a job interview. That's soft skills. We've had employers tell us, you know, not only will the person that's the interviewee, not only will they not make eye contact with us, they text the whole time. You know, yeah, I want a job, man. How much? Yeah, I work for that. Guess what? They're not going to hire you if you're on your cell phone in an interview. Correct? All right. How many of you would let this cheat you out of $60,000 a year? Anybody? And guess what? If you want to be able to pay for this, if you want the latest iPhone, which that's not, I'm behind about 2, but I'm married with 3 kids, okay? You too? Oh, you got the greatest, the latest, the large.
The plus.
Oh, the plus. But, you know, you might want to look at it like this. Okay, if I set some boundaries and I have some soft skills, then I can reach that $60,000 to $100,000 a year level. And if I don't want to set boundaries and I don't want to acquire soft skills and technical skills and learn how to use them, then I can carry my grandpa's flip phone till it dies. Because that's about how much money you're going to make if you don't learn to acquire these skills. It's very important. Has anybody ever heard about first impressions? Right. Are they important? Are they probably one of the most important times if you're interviewing? Because the employer says, hey, I'm going to give you 30 minutes of my time to show me why, for you to show me why I should hire you. Why should I pay you money? And if you walk in sagging, dirty looking, on your cell phone, no eye contact, then guess what? As soon as you walk in and they look at you, the interview is over. I don't care if you're the best secretary, the best heating and air person, the best carpenter. You lost me at hello when you walk through the door. Okay? So these things are important. They're very important. And your generation needs to know that. Okay? It's something that industry, which are the people that hire y'all and hire me, tells us, hey, there's a gap here. There's a generation of kids that they don't have the social etiquette to interview. They don't have the teamwork skills to be able to work with other people. You know, and if you're going to be a mastermind business owner and never have to work for anybody or never have to work with anybody, then you probably don't need these skills. But there's very few people like that in the world. Okay? Most of us are going to work for somebody else. Does anybody in here have their life mapped out enough to know what you want to do? What kind of job you want? What? Graphic arts. What area of graphic arts? Okay, what skills do you think you're going to have to acquire to be able to attain that job?
Working with other people, communication, professionalism.
Okay, what about you? Nursing, okay. Do you think you're going to have any soft skills and technical skills to... Yeah.
I'm just videoing, so.
Okay, so in both jobs and within any job that you're going to take, you're going to, any job that's a career that you're going to make good money at, you're going to need a combination of what kind of skills? soft skills and technical skills, and you've got to blend those together. So what I'm saying to you is it doesn't matter what field you pick. Number one, you got to have soft skills to get hired, okay? If you're the best graphic artist in the world, National Poster is not going to hire you unless you interview well, correct? So that has to be a priority for you, all right? How you dress, how you talk, when you walk in the room, what kind of, it's coming to me, I'm old and I forget things. What kind of impression you put on the employer when you walk through the door, okay? But you also got to have those technical skills that you talked about in the graphic arts, okay? So it's important to blend those kind of things, correct? So could we say, is it just as important for us to learn soft skills as it is to learn how to do what Mr. Blaylock asked us to do in here? Is it important? And are we all, is anybody in here perfect? Can we all improve? Did he raise his hand? Oh, man. What do I talk to his wife? We can all improve, okay? And you, Mr. Blaylock and I have years and years of experience at being interviewed and interviewing other people. So we've acquired some skills that you probably have not even thought of, okay? So as you grow in your high school career, as you 10th, 11th, 12th, what mixed grade levels in here right now? Is it safe to say that every year you could acquire a new soft skill so that by the time you graduate, you're set with those? And this is what a lot of industry is telling us today. If you'll send them with the soft skills, we'll teach them the technical skills, okay? Because what they're seeing is they're hiring people that have all these technical skills and they know how to do nursing or crap, but they won't come to work. They won't show up on time. You know, if little Johnny stumps his toe, then they got to stay home with him for 3 days. I'm just being honest with you. So there's some things that you can learn there. And I'm going to switch over right here and we're going to end up with this because I know I'm over my time. But I think this is important. Is it safe to say that you don't have all the soft skills you need to get a good job right now? How many of you would be honest and say that I don't have all the soft skills I need? How many of you would say, I struggle with some of these soft skills? It's not that I don't know what they are. I'm just struggling with eye contact. I have a hard time. It's not that I want to be deceptive. I just don't like looking people in the eye. Or I don't like to give a good firm handshake. Or what about this? I like to dress for me, Matt. I like to be who I am. I don't want to have to dress to go to an interview. Anybody have a problem with that? Somebody's lying, I know you are. Somebody say, I want to go in there with my hoodie on and my Jordans and be me. You know? And that's something that you have to overcome. The last thing I'm going to leave you with is a soft skill that we can use it in everyday life and in getting a job. Is called perseverance. Does anybody know what that means? Not giving up. I'll take that. I'll throw some candy your way if I remember where I put it. Not giving up. Do you think it's important to not give up? I'm trying to get rid of it now. Just everybody get some. Why is it important to not give up? Somebody, anybody. Why is it important to not give up?
Because you'll keep giving up. It becomes a habit.
It becomes a what?
A habit.
I like that. Giving up is the easy way out. It is. And even adults, as adults will do. You know, if I struggle with some kind of technology, then my mind says the best thing for you to do is just not mess with that because you look stupid every time you mess with it, right? So I don't want to mess with it. What was your input? He said it? Okay. Is it fair to say that we all have something like that? Who would be honest and raise their hand and say, you know what, I got some things that I failed at. Huh? Anybody ever failed at something? Oh man, just the word makes us sick to our stomach, doesn't it? You're a failure. I'm a failure, man. I'm a failure. But perseverance can turn me into a success instead of a failure. The road to success is paved with failures. Do you believe that? Do you believe that it's even a good thing sometimes that you fail at stuff? Why? Because you learn from your mistakes. That's exactly right. I'm going to give you some, I'm going to end right here. I'm going to give you some information on somebody, and let's see if you can tell me who they are. And this is going to show us what happens when people persevere, okay? A famous person who was defeated 7 times while running for a political office.
Yeah, no.
Huh? Who said that? Yes, Abraham Lincoln. How many of you would have thought that he was defeated 7 times? And you got to think a political election, that's a lot of time. That's not like, okay, 7 times in 1 month he ran for office and didn't get it. We're talking about a long period of time, right? That he had to leave thinking, I'm defeated again. You know, the second time he might have been able, I could have probably dealt with that. I'd be like, you know, these crazy people, they just don't realize that they should have voted for me yet. But by the 5th and 6th and 7th time, you're thinking what? I would be thinking, I'm a failure. I'm in the wrong line of work, right? He had a nervous breakdown. Man, that, you know, as far as self-esteem goes, he's probably down here. But the one thing he had was what? Perseverance. He said, I don't care how many times you don't elect me. I don't care what my mental status, if it comes and goes. I'm not giving up. Okay? That's perseverance. Let me give you another one. A cartoonist who was told by the editor of the Kansas City newspaper, it's easy to see from your sketches that you have no talent. Walt Disney. Do you think that guy was wrong? Possibly. How many of you, when that guy told you that it was devastating, you would have changed your line of work and went to something else? If you walked in with the sketches you put all your heart into, and the guy says, dude, you need to do something else. This is not going to work for you. That'd have been hard to recover from, wouldn't it? I mean, let's be honest. And that's what we've got to do. We've got to be honest and say, you know what? Maybe I will fail at something, and maybe it's somebody else's fault, or maybe it's my fault, but either way, I'm not going to quit. Okay? I'm not going to quit. I'm going to give you one last one. A famous Harvard University dropout. Y'all probably not going to know this guy. You might. You'd have a better chance than knowing. He was a Harvard dropout. Couldn't make it. Couldn't cut it. Give you his first name, Mark. Yeah. You said it. What? Wahlberg. No, you've been watching this. He's the hot guy, right? Yeah, he's the guy. He kind of looks like me. I know who you're talking about. And I should have researched this, but I think his last name is pronounced Zuckerberg. Is that correct? Yes. What did he do? He did what? created Facebook and is one of the youngest millionaires in our time. If you walk away with this little lesson with 3 things, I'll be happy. Number 1, what's important about getting a job? Soft skills and technical skills. Okay. The 3rd thing, I'm just going to say it for you because I want you to know it. It's okay to fail. It's okay to mess up. All right? It's not okay to be okay with messing up. All right? We're going to mess up. We're going to have to process that. But how we move on from that is whether we persevere or not. And y'all seem like a great group, so I just want you to think, you know, is there something that I did and I failed at it and I give up on it? Maybe I need to go back and put a little more into that because I'm not a quitter. Is anybody a quitter in here? Any quitters? That's great. Okay. Go back and I'm going to ask, how much time's left in this class? I know I'm way over.
Oh, Lord, you got 30 minutes.
You got 30 minutes. Okay. I got 30 minutes. He said, he's giving this class to me. That's awesome. I'm going to leave, but I'm going to ask you to do this for Mr. Blaylock, okay? In a Word document, in 1 paragraph, and that's not C spot done, spot is done. In 1 paragraph, okay? Give me a thought in there, a thing. I want you to think about something that you failed at and gave up on, okay? And revisit that and see if there's something that you learned from it or if there's something that you can go back and do different and maybe accomplish what you were trying to accomplish to start with, okay? And I'm going to tell you, it's just a short little exercise, but this is what it does. It causes us to do 2 things that we don't like to do. It causes us to admit that we failed, okay? We messed up, we made a mistake. But when we go through this process and say, okay, I admit it, I failed. I'm dealing with that. Now, what did I learn from that? And before you start this, tell yourself, it was okay for me to fail at this. Whatever your situation was, whatever you gave, it's okay that you failed at it. It was just your first time. Okay? It may take you 5, it may take you 100. But if you can persevere, then you can learn from that failure. All right? Once we learn that it's okay to fail, and we learn that there's important information in failures, okay? Very important information about yourself that nobody else can tell you in your failure. Take that failure and say, you know what? You're not bigger than me. You're not smarter than me. You're not stronger than me. I'm going to dissect you, and I'm going to see what kind of information is in you, my failure, to help me succeed in life. Okay? And I want you, the reason I'm asking you to do it is for the process. Because somewhere in life, later on, maybe something more devastating is going to come along, and you're going to fail at that. And I want you to be able to say, hey, you know what? I know the process for overcoming this failure. You know, maybe it's your first college class of statistics and you failed. If you haven't been through this process, you can say, you know what? I can't do college. I can't do the math. I can't make it. I'm out of here. All right? But if you've got this process, you can say, you know what? I failed. I failed the class. Everybody else passed. I'm going to be in there with other people. They're going to know I'm a failure. But that's okay. Because I'm not giving up. I'm persevering. I know the process. I'm going to break it down. I'm going to overcome it. Okay? So will y'all do that for me? A paragraph in a Word document right now. And I appreciate your time. I give Mr. Blaylock a thumbs up on your attention and your engagement. I thank you for that because not all classes are that way. I think that y'all must be probably one of the top of the line classes at East Ridge High School. Okay? Thank you.